I remember hearing the words, "Prove your loyalty to me, King." That haunting sentence wasn't a movie line. It came straight from the mouth of Philip Pines, a former senior executive assistant to Sean "Diddy" Combs. What followed that moment would unravel a web of shocking, disturbing, and possibly criminal behavior allegedly taking place behind the closed doors of the music mogul's inner circle. Pines, in a courageous and emotionally raw testimony, has stepped into the limelight, pulling back the curtain on what he calls the Diddy Circle. Not only did he lay bare what he endured during his time with the rapper-turned-business tycoon, but he also named 10 celebrities who were allegedly involved in the dark, decadent underbelly of Diddy's infamous freak-offs, chaotic, drug-fueled sex parties where rules didn't exist, boundaries were shattered, and loyalty came at a price. What makes Pines' voice so powerful is not just his access, but his role. From December 2019 to December 2021, Philip Pines wasn't just fetching coffee. He was allegedly managing Diddy's private affairs, setting up hotel rooms with red lights, baby oil, pre-roll joints, ketamine, weed, honey packs, and even sexual enhancement drugs. According to Pines, he was forced to scrub blood, clean up bodily fluids, and delete evidence, his job responsibilities resembling those of a professional fixer rather than a personal assistant. In his own words, he became a ghost, expected to erase every trace of what happened during these nights of chaos. But nothing could erase what he witnessed. During one of Diddy's now infamous Wild King nights, Pines says he was pushed into sleeping with a woman at a party. It wasn't consensual in the truest sense, it was a test. Diddy allegedly handed him a condom and essentially demanded he participate to prove his loyalty. The emotional toll of that night still haunts him. In the bombshell docuseries The Fall of Diddy, Pines chokes up as he recalls that traumatic moment, which he described as his breaking point. What started as a career opportunity spiraled into something he could no longer justify. But Pines didn't stop at just telling his story, he pointed fingers. 10 high-profile names, athletes, musicians, actors, and insiders, are now part of what some are calling an entertainment industry reckoning. Let's start with Odell Beckham Jr., the NFL superstar. According to a 2024 lawsuit, Beckham was allegedly involved in a violent gang assault in Orinda, California, in 2018. A woman named Ashley Parham claims he was among several men who drugged and assaulted her. She says she recognized him by his middle name, Cornelius. Beckham vehemently denied the allegations, stating he wasn't even in Orinda that day and doesn't know Parham. Still, the fact that he's been named in a federal lawsuit adds a layer of scrutiny to his previously clean public image. Drewski, the popular comedian whose real name is Drew Desbordes, was also named in the same lawsuit. He was accused of pouring lubricant on Parham and sexually assaulting her. Drewski, who was still living with his mother in Georgia at the time, denied the claim on Instagram and claimed he had no ties to the industry back then. However, being caught in this storm has already impacted his reputation, even if the legal evidence against him remains unclear. Third on the list is the iconic rapper and business mogul Jay-Z. A withdrawn but disturbing lawsuit accused him of drugging and assaulting a 13-year-old girl after the 2000 MTV VMAs. While the case was dismissed with prejudice in February 2025, Jay-Z struck back hard, filing a defamation lawsuit and claiming he was the target of a malicious extortion scheme. Still, the allegations shook fans and brought renewed attention to the blurred lines between fame and accountability. Next is Cuba Gooding Jr., the Oscar-winning actor who, according to Rodney "Lil Rod" Jones, groped him during a party on a yacht. This comes after Gooding previously faced over 30 allegations of sexual misconduct from other women, many of which were settled out of court. Gooding has not responded to these new claims, but his name repeatedly coming up in these stories speaks volumes. Fifth is R&B singer Aaron Hall, accused of sexually assaulting a 16-year-old girl in the 1990s alongside Diddy. Pines' testimony suggested that this wasn't an isolated incident, and Hall, once known for his vocal talent, has not responded to these new allegations. The sixth person named is Harve Pierre, former president of Bad Boy Records. According to the testimony and lawsuit, he allegedly sexually assaulted a 17-year-old girl and was involved in human trafficking back in 2003. There has been no public comment from Pierre, but given his former position at Diddy's label, his name carries significant weight. Now comes a particularly sensitive point: Diddy's own sons. Both Justin Dior Combs and Christian Combs have been accused of deeply disturbing behavior. Justin is alleged to have recruited underage girls for his father's parties and was even reportedly involved in a shooting incident that Pines was forced to cover up. Christian, meanwhile, is accused of drugging and raping a woman named Grace Omar on a yacht in 2022. While Justin's lawyer called the claims utterly bonkers, Christian has yet to address the allegations at all. Their silence only raises more questions. Jacob Arabo, better known as Jacob the Jeweler, is the 9th name on the list. Known for making custom jewelry for some of the biggest stars in music, Jacob is accused of engaging in forced sexual acts at Diddy's white parties, lavish events allegedly filled with drugs, sex, and unspoken rules. Rounding out the list is music producer Stevie J, who was only mentioned in the lawsuit, not formally charged, but Pines and others claim he was involved in grooming and coercion within the Diddy circle. While the law hasn't formally caught up with Stevie J, his alleged proximity to these acts has started to tarnish his legacy. Philip Pines' testimony not only exposed individual acts of abuse and violence, it painted a systemic picture of exploitation. According to Pines, everything was calculated. Diddy's assistants were expected to buy baby oil in bulk, coordinate with hotel security to avoid police intervention, and maintain silence under threat of retaliation. Hotel rooms were doused in red lighting. Guests were allegedly filmed without their consent. Evidence was buried. Silence was purchased. Loyalty was demanded, not earned. Perhaps most chilling of all were the so-called loyalty tests. Pine said he was frequently summoned back to work at odd hours, sometimes just to find a remote or clean up a mess that didn't need attention. It was psychological warfare. The aim wasn't efficiency, it was obedience. Control. These weren't just parties. They were orchestrated displays of dominance and submission. Another former employee, Courtney Burgess, backed up some of Pines' claims, saying he was given sex tapes involving Diddy and other celebrities by Kim Porter before her death in 2018. Burgess alleges that Porter had planned to expose Diddy but died under suspicious circumstances. Diddy responded by filing a $50 million defamation suit, denying any involvement and calling Burgess's claims slanderous lies. As the fallout continues, the entertainment world holds its breath. The allegations against Diddy and his circle span over 3 decades and implicate some of the most powerful names in the business. If even half of what Pines revealed is true, it's not just a scandal, it's a cultural reckoning.